Alright. So, I've noticed a ton of people say Kirsten Champ is impossible. Like, 17,000 people? 17,000 people think Kirsten Champ's impossible, and 3K say it's not. It's really easy. I'll show you how to kill him. And before you even ask, oh yeah, where's your credentials? I kill Kirsten Champ for progression, and currently I have killed about 19 Kirsten Champs, like one for each of my new builds. He's pretty easy. I'm gonna be honest, I don't need anything in specific to kill him, and I'll be sharing some tips as to how to kill Kirsten Champ because he's pretty easy once you get him down. The main issue is if you die to Kirsten Champ, you wipe, and that scares a lot of people, and they bring overpowered PvEs, and then they don't actually learn how to fight him. But, really getting into how to kill Kirsten Champ, there are a couple big things you should first think about, which are like enchants, weapons, and mantras, right? So for mantras, run high damaging mantras and mantras that run in the background like Tornado. Tornado is probably one of the most solid mantras to run for killing Kirsten Champ because it has like passive damage. Same with Gale Trap, Ice Flock, Warden's Blades, Frozen Servants. Really good mantras. You want to focus on parrying Kirsten Champ rather than like what's it called? Getting damage in. Because if you get damage in, that's great. But what if he also gets damage in on you? Now you're gonna have some problems. So do focus entirely on sustaining yourself, which means bring a lot of bloodless gems. And I would highly recommend, if you have like Frozen Servants or something, put a blessed gem on your highest damaging mantra, and then everything else is bloodless sustain. For weapon types, I'd highly recommend anything with the multi-hit critical, like Trident Spear. Guns are the exception, but that's because they're guns. But Trident Spear is really strong. What's it called? Daggers are really strong, especially Canor Fang. Canor Fang, it has a talent called Clutch Recovery. Whenever you're below 30, you pretty much get 1% every time you M1, and on your criticals, you get 5% back. So you could just spam that if you're low, and then it becomes pretty easy. But let's see, you don't have any of that, and you're still boosted. You still don't know how to fight him. Get Counterbell. Counterbell, run it back, Shardbow, Smite. These are really good options. I would highly recommend anything that can just passively help you. Or an active. The best active that I would recommend is most definitely Counterbell for any build. Because, yeah, technically you gotta pop it, but it gives you pretty much hyper, not even hyper, it gives you like damage reduction pretty much, like 100% damage reduction for a bit, damage and regen if you have corrupted variant. It is obnoxiously good. Now I feel like this is pretty obvious. This fist build does no damage, so it's gonna be somewhat of a challenge to kill Etheron, or not Etheron, a bit of a challenge to kill the big bad known as the Kiersguard champ. But honestly, that's the best case scenario. If the build is bad, I get to showcase killing Kiersguard champ more, and I get to show, hey, you don't really need a specific build for it. This is going to be a little bit long, so I might cut this because I don't really have any more tips. So yeah, I'll see you when I actually get to Kirsten. Alright, Etheron is dead, and here's the thing, I, like, really need to use the bathroom, so after I kill him, I'm going to be leaving instantly. I'm not grabbing medallion chests. This is so bad. Right, okay, but enchants you want to be running for this guy, I'd highly recommend Metal. I have a Metal in my inventory, but I didn't use it. Metal with the multi-tick will shred his armor, plus he also shreds your armor, so if you have Metal, you can, like, recuperate it all back. And if you were to use another enchant, Grim is really good. Really anything that would give you more damage. Vampirism is a maybe. It depends on your weapon. If you're using Trident Spear or multi-hit crit, definitely Vampirism would be a good option because you get temp HP. You want to rely on the fact that he does a lot of damage, yeah, but if you have temp HP, you'll be fine. Especially if you run Clutch Recovery, like the Canor Fang, because the Canor Fang will give you temp HP on the crit and HP back. That's pretty huge. Right, first things first, he'll always start by throwing off that move pretty much, and then he'll do he has some options for moves. Now, I highly recommend don't try to M1 between his attacks unless you're on Fist or some sort of light weapon. And also, thing you could do, build distance. If you build distance, you don't have to worry about any of his moves because, well, you have distance. Now, if you look, I took some damage, but look, he's still half HP, and I barely even hit him. I highly recommend for Etheron, keep your chain stacks. Like, try to get as many chain stacks as possible at the end of your Etheron, because those chain stacks are going to be very necessary for fighting this guy. Now, if you notice, I'm quite literally just letting him hit me because I'm still pretty much full. I personally wouldn't recommend letting him hit you, but I have so much experience, and I've never wiped to him, so I'm not really worried about it. But if you look, it's a pretty simple fight. With a bunch of his moves, you kind of just want to back up as far as you can. I highly recommend... honestly, I'm gonna let him bell check me, but I highly recommend you back up from the attack where he dashed, like right there, that attack, back up, and then slide jump into the last M1 to parry it, and then get some free damage in from that. Also, whenever you approach him, he's gonna first throw out the attack that, like, hits you. He's gonna throw out, like, the blockable attack. You just move out the way of that, and then his very next move, or one of his next moves, should be just placing down the barrier, so whenever he's placing down the barrier, you get free damage. So do abuse the amount of damage you get from the barrier. Anyhow, good bell check, I guess. You noticed, pretty simple fight, and I got the Kirsten necklace first try. Anyhow, thank you for watching this video, and I will be taking that payback because I'll need that for Parliament. Honestly, I don't even need that for Parliament. I could do Parliament pretty much the same way I did this. It's pretty easy. If you want to see a Parliament guide, let me know. Thank you for watching. I need to go take my shit.